Okay, so this is our uh, NQ continuous contract NQM 2026. So अभी मैं wait कर रहा था कि I did not post any weekly outlook on Saturday, and I did not say anything what's gonna happen throughout the coming days, because usually what happens is Sunday, like I usually post a story saying, okay, Saturday this is gonna happen, and then Sunday I like continue saying like my predictions for the market. But this week I did not do that. Because why? Because okay, market was very close to all-time highs, right? So I was pretty certain that they would open up higher and take out the buy side, right? Because it was in close proximity, because there was no much reason for them to open it lower, right? So they opened it here, and then they ran up directly towards the buy side. So this here, its price is not come under the weekly open. That is something to be noted of. So when all-time highs get taken, it really becomes a very very tricky condition, because usually ये all-time highs लेने के बाद, see, if you cannot switch your bias to, just because buy side was taken, you can never become bearish, right? Now I was teaching a person yesterday. I was doing this one-on-one, and I even told him that if this buy side gets taken, then I'm gonna, you know, get back to being bullish on Nasdaq and all other indices. Why? Because if we were actually bearish, price shouldn't have taken the buy side, because this is that significant run that's set up lower, giving us that confirmation. Okay, now we're gonna run the sell side, but and then what ended up happening was they took out relative equal lows, and then they reversed higher, right? So the maximum point in price where they can actually take it up higher is here. It is into this inefficiency, right? Because that's the prominent inefficiency. This is an hourly chart if anybody is interested to know what time frames, but it's the same thing. In 1 minute per be same ही रहेगा भाई. So this was that last little thing. So once this high must have, it should have been you know if it stayed protected, then I would have been okay. Still, if it could have, maybe break down, then I would have been bearish. But once this high gets taken, this is an intermediate term high, right? So because this is the run that set the run to take out the sell side and into the weekly basic right here. So once this high gets taken, I really become really bullish on NQ, ES, and YM. So if I'm being bullish, doesn't mean that I'm not gonna. Doesn't mean, and I'm not suggesting that you're not gonna get intraday shorts, right? Intraday shorts, yes, banenge, of course banenge, but majority, if I'm actually trading my buy, because longs are getting distributed more, right? Longs zyada distribute ho rahe, as you can see, because we are again at all-time highs. Now I have to see what tomorrow does. Kal Monday hai by bank holiday. I'm not going to be trading. It's bekar. There is no reason to be even wake up in the morning to, log into your fucking account to trade. It's just useless. Bank holiday entirely skip kar do bhai. Don't even look at it. Like these are the days. Like come on. So I want to see what Monday does, and then Monday if. See, now for me to like actually switch bearish, I need a good structure. Like yes, I mean I can be, and you all can be ambitious trying to pick the top. Not saying I'm not gonna pick the top, or I won't try to pick the top, but it's not a general suggestion if you're trading with your funds to not try to go against what is actually currently happening in the market, right? Picking the top is a very risky move, and picking the bottom is also very. There is a reason smart money reversals are hard. Even for ICT, smart money reversals are hard. He always tells it, because it is hard for a reason. Then you have to have multiple confluences matching together, like time of month and time of week and time of the year, what quarter, what tendency is going on. So all of that. So it's not as easy as just catching off a continuation, right? That's the reason I always suggest, go with the order flow. When you come into the market at 9 o'clock or 8:30, you'll see what's happening. Take a look, you zoom out, right? First of all, zoom the fuck out and take a look at 15 minutes, because that's our bellwether, and look what the order flow, like how is the what is the prominent order flow in the markets. How is it going? Is it in a bull run? Is it in a buy program? Is it in a sell program? If you're in a buy program, are all down close candles holding price, right? The right order blocks. And if we're in a sell program, the same thing. Are we actually in a sell program, or this just looks bearish, right? That's the question. So First of all, don't try to fight the order flow. That's going to keep your psychology in check. Because see, now if you it's वो बहुत rarely होगा that okay you're gonna end up continuing, right? I'm gonna go with the order flow, all time highs है, blah blah blah, okay, I'm bullish. But that one time जब you get stopped out, वो you might even top the market. आपने stop out लेने के बाद market top भी हो जाएगा, but that's just one time. वो बहुत rarely होता है. So until like something good forms, it would be ideal to not marry or not try to pick the top. See, I'm not saying, I'm not telling anybody to do what to do and what not to do, right? You guys think that you have free will, so you guys can use your money, you can trade with your own money. Nobody's giving you financial advice here, but I'm just trying to build some good habits into you that is going to help you in the long run, because it's really not about today. It's not about today. It's you have to zoom out and you have to look at in a bit of long term, so that agar aaj ke, if your habits today, if you can fix those bad habits, like if you can note key mistakes in your trading and fix it abhi se, like for example, not trying to pick the top, or not trying to shorting in a bull market, or bear longing in a bear market, predicting that this is going to be the absolute low of week or low of high. Like you don't want to be doing all that freaky stuff when it comes to your money, right? So you got to be really careful. That's why if you can build good habits, either say, for example, another good habit to build is sticking to 1 to 2 trades per day. Because now, what kind of model do you have that if it's always repeating, then you can always fucking sit on the charts? But the truth is that's not how it works, right? It might look like your entry, and then you take the entry and you get stopped out. Your attitude there must be, okay, this was my model, because I have faith in myself. I have feedback, I've collected data saying, okay, this is my model. Stop out is a part. Nobody has 100% winning rate, right? Like so nobody, even ICT wouldn't come out and be like, all my trades get hit. ICT got stopped out the other day. If you check his video, he was longing, he got stopped out, है ना? वो stop out हो गया. He re-entered too and he showed it. So everybody gets stopped out in the games. Getting stopped out is a good part, man. There is a reason for stop losses, bro. There's a reason. It's you're preserving equity, and you're like, okay, all your attitude must be, at the end of the day, when you hit the bed, before you take a loss, your attitude must be, okay, I saw the entry, I placed a bet, saying in the end it's a bet, right? In the end you have data to believe in the bet, right? That's another thing. You have data, you have experience. That's why I always say you have to look at it yourself. You can only help yourself. So if you have data saying, okay, this my bet usually works out, like usually when I'm trading it fucking works out, so you're gonna place a bet. And now once you place a bet, it can either you can either take a hit, right, or you can win. These are the only two outcomes. There is nothing else, right? Everything else, आप भाई ये बाहर से filth, I call this filth, right? ये बाहर से इकट्ठे करके you're imposing onto the trading. But at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, when your fucking when your head hits the bed and your pillow, your attitude towards the market and your career and your trading journey must be, okay, I placed a bet, I had an edge, I executed it regardless of the win or loss. It was a 50-50 chance. Okay, I'm not getting too overexcited because I hit a big trade, and I'm not going to get demotivated because I'm in a losing streak, right? Because you have to be in that middle state where you are in the middle, you're being an observer of both of the things that's happening. For that, you'll have to work on yourself. You have to see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, right? Because only you अगर आपको ही realize नहीं होगा, अगर आपको खुद के अंदर अगर आप realize नहीं करोगे कि okay, this is it, right, then आप इधर उधर देखते रह जाओगे, because nobody is gonna come help you. Nobody, किसी का strategy, all of that, it's never gonna work out. Everybody wants shortcut in life. ये हमेशा ये जिंदगी में everybody wants to take the shortcut. Nobody wants to take the harder choice of sitting down, taking a pen and paper, going back into the data, hindsight data, reading it, annotating it, being like, okay, this is where I would have taken this entry and I would have captured this much paper, really annotating in detail, putting the text, using this text app on TradingView. If you're using TradingView, if you cannot put in such deep work, not in the sense कि मेरे को काम करना है, मेरे को काम करना है, no, but in the sense of curiosity, okay, I have to figure this out. सब तो कर रहे हैं, there are people that are good in this, why can't I be good in this, right? That must be your attitude when you come into the markets. Like every day, maybe bro, even I'm a learner, I would never say that I've cracked the whole thing. Like I am a learner, every day I'll be a learner, because every day there is something good to learn. All your mistakes, I won't, even today, like even when I take a hit, right, I I use it as a way to learn more, right? One of the learning could also be that, okay, I took a hit and I made the conscious decision. That was it. That was my one shot. I did not get the kill, and it's okay. In that way, your whole mind stays clear, right? You have a whole clarity in, not in a sense कि एक particular point, but clarity in the sense you have a clarity of wholeness. आपको trading, like the whole of trading आपको clarity मिल रहा है. So yeah, man, I mean, I can actually keep on talking, bro. I can actually keep on talking, and because I really want you all to get better at this, because this is one of the, this is like, come on, the world is changing, guys. Things are not gonna be the same. Now that's one harsh truth of society, that you need money, right? You need money, right? You everybody learns the hard way. You need money. You cannot renounce money in this generation. So if you can become good at this, this is such a source of income. Everybody knows the benefits, right? But idhar pahunchne ke liye you do have to put in the work, because that's the only way. And I want it to really be natural for you all, not like it's like ye kya kaam karna pad raha hai. नहीं, you have to, it should be very natural. You don't force yourself and all. इतने गलतियां करो कि you naturally understand, okay, this is how it is, man. If I don't change right now, if I don't make the right decisions to actually learn, I'll actually get better in my psychology, in my trading style, then there is nothing is gonna come, and it's still the race, the track is infinite, bhai. Track to bhai chalega, it's infinite. You can end up anywhere, the track's there, it's infinite, but just gotta walk on the right one. And yep, that was it. Just all time highs per hai. Maybe you can draw a couple of deviations on the daily, and maybe on a smaller time frame, because daily per -4 to reach हो ही गया था.